Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shenandoah University Esports Arena located in beautiful Winchester, Virginia. We have our Smash Bros team ready to go here tonight. Round one of NACE playoffs here against a very familiar opponent here tonight, Florida International University, FIU. If you tuned in at the very beginning of this season, you would have seen this team go up against each other in week number 1. So a rematch here in playoffs for both of these teams. FIU going on quite the tear later on in the season, as well as starting to bring out some of their main heavy hitters as well. Anathema has been piloting their main of Rob. We've seen Sure Hyper on the Wolf. Many players here for FIU. Very, very dangerous. I'm Ben Kincaid, joined by Chris Clayton, and we cannot wait to get this one started.
Yeah, big one here tonight, and one that we've seen already. As you said, these teams rematching each other from week 1 in round 1 of playoffs, which we'll get into later on. But a massive upset and a massive win early on in the season for Shenandoah that would go on to really define the rest of their season. Shenandoah leaving their group with a flawless record for their first time in all of the years that our Shenandoah Varsity Smash Bros has competed in NACE. They finished their group with an undefeated record. FIU, on the other hand, very much similar results after the loss to SU in week 1. These two teams very much deserve to be in playoffs as we look at the final standings of the group. FIU bookending their season with losses on the front to Shenandoah, and then a loss at the very end of the week by forfeit. So kind of a fake loss. And I apologize, I don't remember who it was against. I want to say it was Delaware. But a matchup that FIU definitely would have won if they played.
Yeah, I mean, FIU, you have to assume that this team would be 5-1 and potentially not playing against SU here tonight. But nevertheless, that is the case that we find ourselves with here. You can see SU, of course, 6-0, flawless run, like you say. But there's been a twist for this SU roster as well. We'll get to that a little bit later. We're going to take a quick look at what the bracket looks like first. And this is what we're sitting at. This is like a 32-team bracket, so this is a zoom in just to our little bubble of our bracket as we take a look at the teams that are in it.
Yeah, let's talk about the all the forces in the world that are against Shenandoah right now. Because SU, with an undefeated season, was not only seeded to play a team that they already played in round one, but FIU, again, due to that forfeit in their last week, was seeded as a 2-loss team. And to those of us involved in collegiate Smash Bros. At all, we all know that FIU is borderline, arguably a top 10 team in the country. So not only is SU rewarded with a top 10 matchup in round one for having a perfect season, they also, if they get through here today, get a rematch of the NECC National Championship matchup against likely UNCG up there. So all forces in the world are seemingly against Shenandoah right now, as this has tended to be with SU's playoff draws in recent memory. But all the more reasons for SU to look to prove to themselves and to the rest of the world that they absolutely deserve to be with this undefeated record and to go on these runs in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, you got to feel, looking at that bracket, whoa, this is a very, very tough road for SU up against these teams. So take a quick look at what the head-to-head looks like between these two teams as well. They do have that series win. SU 12-1 in the games won versus games lost column. They're only dropping one game to FIU. So we'll have to see if that rings true here again and if they can advance to that 14-1 on the entirety of this season. FIU, of course, sitting 9-5, 4-2, respectively, with their series win-loss record.
Yeah, and if you listen to what I just talked about, you might not get this vibe, but I have to say there is good news for SU, and it's that when these two teams played earlier on in the regular season, we were expecting to see a certain player named Dominator, and we didn't see Dominator come out, and that was a huge win for SU, and something that I do ultimately believed lended to their win in week one. But if we look at the FIU roster here that we are expecting today, you'll see that Dominator is still not on there, and it's because after a full season of play, we actually have not seen Dominator, period, on this FIU roster. So while we thought that might have been, a one-off, maybe couldn't make it to that game, who knows what was going on, thought maybe that could have just been fluky. The FIU roster has remained the same throughout their season, so we expect that same roster here tonight that we saw in week one.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if there is no Dominator. I mean, you mentioned that we haven't seen them all year long because they play a pretty impactful character on Mario, right? Can really do some damage in crew battles, whereas we see Botan, the one that was stepping in on King DDD, not really known to be a very impactful player. And also, if you look over to the SU roster as well, Botan has a lot of playtime into Kip. They are friends on this roster as well. So both of these players very, very familiar with each other's play style. Now, I teased this earlier here tonight, but the roster looks a little bit different. We've kind of the last few weeks have seen the emergence of eyes here on this varsity roster, piloting the Palutena and the Roy secondary, and they have been looking very, very good in the past few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. The growth of this player has really surprised me. I'll go out and say it, and I think has impressed Coach Igloo as well. I mean, he's definitely earned his spot on this roster. You see him there behind Willie, as the players are warming up. But Eyes really has stepped up to the moment in a couple matchups that the team has put him into. He's held his own, and that's something that that's, really all you can ask for in a crew battle. So I'm excited to see how he looks in his first year of competition into a playoff matchup. But so far this season, really the story has been that man on your screen. You see those numbers. That's overwhelming. Pac-Man has been a force to be reckoned with for this Shenandoah team, and hopefully looking for more of that same success here tonight from Kip.
Yeah, we have a blown-up graphic of the one that you see there in your bottom left corner as well. If you want to take a quick peek at that one.
It looked like he was going to sneeze, and I think he ducked it.
So that's very true, actually. 69-38 stocks taken versus stocks lost here for Kip on this Pac-Man, and 13 games played. Absolutely unstoppable thus far on this Pac-Man character, and hoping to keep that momentum going here tonight, right? We have a very good matchup with FIU, and I have some notes from their last meeting in week number 1. Of course, Eyes did not play. This is kind of a stocks taken versus a stocks lost graph that I have. Kip went 12-9 in week 1 against FIU. Igloo went 9-9 and even split a 1 KD for Igloo. Willie went 10-3 in that matchup, was very, very pivotal in that series win. And AJ, who has been taken control of by Eyes has taken his position, rather went 3-9 in that series as well. Eyes has not seen this FIU roster, and this FIU roster has not seen a whole lot of Eyes. So we'll have to see if this player swap has a big impact here tonight.
Yeah, this player on your screen was the absolute game changer in the first matchup between these two teams. The clutch factor that Willie has developed over his years here at Shenandoah has become very measurable multiple times, going into 7-8 stock deficits and having to work his way out of them, and somehow managing to do it more often than he doesn't will never cease to blow my mind. And FIU earlier in this season was no exception. He was going into pretty scary looks and managed to find his way into success. 10-3, as you see, was very much a game changer for Shenandoah, and I imagine tonight will have to be no exception. It's hard to ever ask a player to replicate that amount of success, but when you're playing against the best teams in the country, that's what it takes to stay on top.
Yeah, and one thing that jumps out to me on that graphic as well is that Willie's only played 3 games. Only 3 teams, or one team rather, has made it all the way to Willie, right? That's a big testament to how well the rest of this SU roster has been playing. Not many teams have made it to the anchor of SU, and when they do, Willie tends to take care of business fairly cleanly. So we'll have to see if that is the case again here tonight. Another thing to mention about that week 1 matchup is that FIU did play some secondaries in that matchup as well. We saw a lot of Banjo-Kazooie coming through from Anathema, specifically the one that we looked at of the shock of week number 1, expecting them to be back on the main, back on that Rob here tonight. Wolf, DDD, and Robin as well. The other characters coming through from FIU, very strong characters, very prominent characters. So it'll be a very interesting matchup to see what goes down with character selection, because SU doesn't have a whole lot of experience into Anathema Rob like they could have had in week 1.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the storyline of today, in my opinion. That's all this boils down to is FIU, we thought at the time, was not at full strength in their roster and were playing character picks that confused us. Shenandoah went the distance and ultimately came out on top in a very crucial matchup against a very, very strong team. Now FIU gets their rematch. Thank God NACE gave them a rematch of their regular season opponent because here we are and FIU gets to run that back. So Shenandoah now has to overcome what I expect to be better characters, strong players piloting characters that they're more familiar with, less experimentation now this deep into the season, and will it be the difference? That's what this is boiling down to, is will FIU playing their main characters be enough to get them over the hump that they could not in week 1?
Yeah, it's going to be a very close matchup. I expect this one to potentially go the distance yet again here tonight. Interesting to see what SU decide to start in this matchup as well. We know that Eyes and Kip, or Eyes taking over AJ's spot, can be interchanged for that starting position. We'll get a little bit of a sneak peek here on the blind pick coming through from both of these teams, it does look like it will be Kip on the Pac-Man to start things off for SU, and FIU starting with Lucas Korn on the Robin. Chris, what do you feel and think about this matchup?
Robin is a really interesting character, I have to say, and one that has I even hesitate to say the word emerged. There's like one or two Robin players out there that blow my mind, I have to say. And I'm blanking on his name. I think it's Leaf is like the Robin player that comes to mind. And when I'm watching him, good Lord, does he make me a believer in Robin. But otherwise, when I'm watching the other 99% of the world population play Robin, there's a lot that this character sort of leaves to be desired. He's extremely heavy and extremely slow. And that's something that you wouldn't expect, for those of you who maybe don't watch as much Smash Bros. These Fire Emblem characters, right? They just look like humans and they're not exactly the heaviest characters in the world, right? Robin is the exception. Robin is like bottom 3 slowest character in the game. So that could create issues for a Pac-Man to find kills. We know that Kip believes that Pac-Man struggles to get kills, especially outside of his setups and stuff. If Kip's not able to get his rhythm going around his hydrants, around his projectiles, and Robin is able to apply a lot of pressure in those setup moments, Kip might struggle to take these stocks, but it's hard to say. That'll be what I'm keeping an eye out for, is if Rob can sort of disrupt Pac-Man's flow, especially at higher percents.
Yeah, and Robin's also interesting into this matchup, I feel, because they also have some ranged options of their own when they have the book up available, right? Oftentimes we see Kip place a hydrant and go to farm because they know they are buying so much space with the hydrant at mid-stage. But Robin can kind of fight through that and has projectiles of their own to sort of work with, and I believe can get rid of the hydrant fairly quickly with some of their smash attacks as well, because Robin does, frankly, hit fairly hard, being a heavyweight character, very hard to kill. So this will be an interesting matchup to start things off. If Kip goes on a 2-0 win or 2-3 win in favor of Kip surviving with 2 stocks or 1 stock, whatever it may be, that could be a massive start, right? If Kip can get extra credit on a second player and then send in Eyes or Igloo, whatever the matchup might be, into Hyper Wolf, who was playing out of their mind in week 1 against SU and has only been improving throughout the course of the season, or even if it's Rob to come in, or Botan. We've seen Botan give SU some trouble in the past as well. So this first match, I feel like, really will dictate the pace of this first set.
I totally agree. Yeah, this is the type of matchup that, while is less common in collegiate crew battles, right? We're so used to seeing, maybe one strong player in the opening position, one strong player in the anchor, and then the middle is just like Armageddon for a lot of teams. These teams like Shenandoah, where this team is comprised of like low PR players, but they're all good at what they do, and they all have a very designated role in their team, and as a collective, they are better than the sum of their parts. FIU is very similar to that, except they have very strong individual players. Yeah. So where, usually SU can get away with maybe a less successful opening matchup and make up ground later on. Now, every one of these is all hands on deck. We're on 110% from the get-go, because the moment either of these teams starts to pull away, 2-3 stocks, that might be enough to seal the rest of this set, no matter when it happens. So that's why, in my opinion, I agree with you. This first set is critical for both of these teams to determine who gets character pick next, who gets to maintain a counter pick in characters.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a very, very close matchup, and we cannot stress enough how important this one is, because I don't believe this is double elimination by any means. You lose, you're done. Right, so this has to be a very clean game, a very clean match here from SU into FIU. We are now hopping into games here already. Good little mix-up from Kip as they got through their stage selection, their button checks, everything looking good for both of these players. You can see a little bit of the range that Robin can play with, but not really able to get a whole lot going just yet in these first few seconds.
Yeah, a couple things I'm keeping my eye on, right? That's our first Hydrant we've seen come out for Kip, so he hasn't been able to get these setups around just yet. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Lucas Korn here uses their different variations of Thunder. I forget what they're all called. It's like Thunder, L Thunder, Arc Thunder, and then Thoron, I think.
I think so.
But all of them will behave differently, especially into Kip's Hydrant. So I'm very curious which ones will break it if, like, whatever the third one is, I already forget. Arc Thunder, is enough to break a Hydrant or not. I believe it is, but little things like that. I'm excited to see the longer this matchup goes on.
Yeah, and you can already see the power that Robin has when they have their sword out. The aerials from this character are very, very strong. It's a little deceptive as well. I mean, Robin having all this range potential, you wouldn't think that those aerials are going to be that strong, but instead they hit pretty dang hard. So watch out for those aerial strings getting put together thus far from Lucas Korn. Already able to take that first stock and trying to get some extra credit here onto Kip's second, but won't be able to do a whole lot right now as a grab and a toss off stage from Kip. A Hydrant going for this ledge guard, but Lucas Korn able to recover back safely thus far. Shield on that bell as well, able to nullify a potential kill threat coming through from Kip.
Yeah, the good news about these aerials and about Rob as a character is that he has resource management. So what makes Robin's aerials so strong is that Levin sword, that electric sword that he's swinging around. And if you see above Robin's character profile, he has resource bars. Right there is the Levin sword, and every time he uses one of those aerials, it empowers his aerial, which is why they are so strong, but that also means it goes away eventually. Now it has a cooldown, it'll come back just on its own, but those are windows of opportunity where Kip is significantly more safe from these kill threats, because yeah, that Levin sword in the air is lethal.
Yeah, and Kip as well able to avoid a lot of the extra credit off of Lucas Korn's first stock, and now able to build up a little bit of an advantage here as well. Some aerials going Kip's way, a Hydrant getting tossed out as well, and all of a sudden Lucas Korn up to 87% here on this second stock. Kip able to use their projectiles to get back to stage as well, but right now Kip starting to find a little bit of a groove into this Robin. Oh, the bell just barely missing in that toss. Could have been dangerous for Lucas Korn.
Man, yeah, a scary opportunity there, but Kip caught in the arc fire. Does not get to capitalize, but just a key to the face. And just like that, you know, after this first stock, where Kip ultimately the one to lose his first and looking a little scary in the blink of an eye, has re-seized the lead and now has made his way, given himself a stock advantage, overcoming those ledge traps as well, which Robin has very strong ledge traps, some of them involving that Elwind. Keep an eye out for that. That move is not one you see come out often, but it can be very, very scary in the hands of somebody that knows how to use it.
Yeah, it's definitely a mix-up option on some of those ledge guarding potentials, right? We see a lot of high percentage built up onto Kip's Pac-Man here on this second stock, doing a great job at getting any extra credit that they can. The up throw on the Galaga, not something that we often see from Kip's Pac-Man, but able to get some good chip damage. A little bit of a stalemate there holding that shield, both of those players. A little nervous possibly of trying to go out of the shield and approach the other one, knowing how important this first set really is.
Yeah, all of a sudden you can see how the players are playing around their stocks. Neither one of these players wants to lose the stock they're on. Kip sees an opportunity to get away with two stocks here, and that would be huge for the future of SU's set one. So at 170%, he has very much changed how he's playing, and I understand it. He sees an opportunity and wants to get the most of it, but a forward air there with the Levin sword will absolutely take it. So now Kip can probably loosen up a little bit and just try to secure this stock.
Yeah, one stock left here for Robin. 107%. Kip trying desperately to save that stock, but just can't quite get it done. It's going to be the down tilt there coming through arc fire as well. The bell in a good position here to possibly find this kill. The up smash will connect off of that bell, and Kip able to survive with one stock here into Lucas Korn's Robin. A very, very close first set between these two teams.
Yeah, we said it in the pregame. That one feels really important for both of these teams, right? That's a relief off your shoulders if you're SU that Kip is still in the game. If you're FIU, that's a little uncomfortable that Lucas Korn is now out already, right? Both of these teams so used to having their strong players go on these runs. Lucas Korn, no exception to that standard, but one of them had to go out, right? That's the beauty of collegiate crew battles. The opening matchup, one of those players is going down. So when you get two heavy hitters going into each other, one of the teams is going to be feeling pretty uncomfortable, and this time it is not SU. They get to cruise into the next character for FIU.
Yeah, and I feel like given the players that are left that we know of on this FIU roster, the response I feel like is going to be Botan on the DDD. I feel like they have connection and a lot of play experience into Kip. I feel like that makes the most sense and is a little bit of a curveball character in their own right as well. A lot of different interesting mix-ups that King DDD can do. And I just feel like the value that Anathema and Sure Hyper will have on the back end of this crew battle is pivotal, right? I feel like you have to save these two players for later on because these right now are looking to be your strongest players throughout this season.
And that's something, too, I want to say in the first matchup between these two teams, I'm not as confident in this, but I want to say Anathema started.
I think you're
for
right.
FIU.
On Banjo, yeah.
Yeah, on the Banjo, which was a surprise to us at the time, and that was a massive factor of why SU was able to create advantages and hold on to them, was that Anathema was knocked out early on a character that we're not used to seeing them play.
Right.
So now, at least through one set, Anathema's not starting, which means Anathema can still make up ground and create value later on in the series or in the set specifically. We'll see if it happens, but that is already a change of strategies here between these two teams in this playoff rematch.
Yeah, I mean, Anathema is definitely one of those players that is dangerous no matter where they go in, especially if they're on Rob. Anathema is a very, very powerful character. We did just get confirmation from our producer that Anathema did start last time on the Banjo, so having this powerful player still in the wings somewhere waiting for their opportunity to strike is definitely playing a part in SU's decision making of who goes through after Kip. If Kip goes down, I mean, hey, maybe it's a miracle run and they find a one stock throughout the entire thing. I don't expect that to happen, but hey, crazier things have been done. So we'll have to wait and see what the response is from FIU, as I do believe we're getting dangerously close to character selection. I saw we entered the arena here, so we'll have to await FIU's decision, but looks like we're getting close.
Yeah, we are definitely getting close. We have our stage pick in, and it'll be Battlefield. I saw that Kip got his music pick because it's Persona 4. So home field advantage for Kip on this one with one stock and a dream. But who will it be into? We still don't know. And the good news is that if it's a player like Anathema that we said can create value later on, again, boiling down to that first head-to-head matchup, SU would get counterpick on whoever this player is. And now we are seeing that it is Botan. That's it. The King DDD is in for FIU, which, again, has to take one stock off Kip to even this out, but it will mean that no matter what, SU will get character counterpick after the results of this head-to-head.
Botan is the response here from FIU. Already a good mix-up early from Kip, but already 23% built up just after a few hits from the King DDD. So we'll have to see what Kip can do. Galga combos, of course, a little bit easier to hit on this character, just given, wow, that was a wild interaction, a ping-pong match with the Patui? No, that is
the Gordo,
I believe. Gordo. Patui, I think, is the one for
Piranha Plant.
Piranha Plant, yep.
Yeah.
Bell connecting there. Already 101% built up on this King. Yeah, I'm pulling out some names.
That
right?
was impressive. I don't want to understate that. Pulling names from nowhere. Doing your research. King DDD up to 112%, and unfortunately for Kip, it's going to take a lot more than that to knock off this. I don't even know what he is, but look at that. Bell into charged up smash, mind you. Still not enough to kill off the top. And, man, those Gordos can be oppressive. Kip almost getting that key shot back at him, and I guess that's something I hadn't even really considered. King DDD does have on his neutral B, he can he can suck in the projectiles and shoot them back at you, like that.
Yep.
So with something quick like a key that Kip is not expecting the redirect on, might just steal a stock somewhere in there. But again, Kip on his last stock, just looking to find one and create some extra credit. But an apple at 160 or whatever we were just at, still not enough. And look out for interactions like that.
All right, able to get that down tilt through the hydrant there. Almost 200% built up on that first stock for Botan. Let's see if Kip can get anything else here off of Botan. A grab coming through. Dangerous forward air coming through as well, but won't be able to connect. The up air is there for Botan, but the ledge guard with the Gordo won't be able to connect the trampoline, able to get them out of harm's way. A good little combination coming through from Kip as well, building up Botan to 46%. Still very, very far from kill range if we learned anything from that first stock.
Yeah, you're right. And little things I'm seeing already between these two players. You can tell they've played each other more than once. There's a couple reads coming out that are just based strictly off downloads. Kip clearly has some experience there. I'm specifically talking about that roll in into the down air. Little things like that. It helps when you've got a familiar opponent, and Kip certainly does. Now to 150%, and with a character like King DDD, just about any move that he throws out would do it. I'm looking for, a Gordo to land, a back air, an up air, just about anything. Even that forward tilt might just do it. But it'll be a down tilt, and that one will take off the side. So Kip does get one stock of extra credit, but how about it, right? FIU gets the job done, can't complain about trading 1 for 1, and it's Botan with 2 stocks left that has to deal with this Shenandoah counterpick.
Yeah, 9-8 now in favor of SU in this first series. Kip doing exactly what you need to do. You go 4-3, your advantage in stocks here, and set SU up for success. Now, what is the response to come through from SU? I feel like eyes might be an angle here just because of how big DDD is and how big the Nair of Palutena is. The juggle potential in that matchup is pretty large and is very beneficial for eyes in this matchup.
I agree, and I think it comes down to how comfortable is eyes in taking those stocks. I don't think Palutena will struggle at all to build up percentage on this King DDD, but how can you get your kill moves in? How are you going to land a dash attack, a forward air, a back air? Mm-hmm. Some of these an up smash maybe. How are you going to connect those onto a very strong King DDD that knows what you're looking for? Eyes has not played against King Botan, as the rest of the SU roster certainly has at different points in their career, but I agree on paper. I think it'll be relatively easy for Palutena to just rack up damage and give eyes opportunities to take stocks, but the difference maker will be, can you land those kill moves? And we haven't seen much of eyes into these heavyweight characters. I don't know how he's gonna look, how he fares, how he likes to play in these types of matchups. But it excites me that we are gonna get to see some fresh blood on this team if Eyes is able to take these 2 stocks.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a huge momentum swing in favor. I mean, they already have the momentum in their favor, but even more so to build on that momentum if Ice is able to take these 2 stocks with potentially only losing 1, right? Now, the game plan from Palutena, obviously, your aerials are super, super strong, but you also have a pretty good ledge guard with combination into DDD's recovery as well, right? It's a very telegraphed recovery from DDD. You can't really do a whole lot, and your side B from Palutena can kill very, very easily and will launch kind of off to the side, which is beneficial. And I believe Small Battlefield has a little bit of a smaller ledge, or maybe it's smaller off the bottom. I can't remember which one it's smaller on. But nevertheless, Eyes does have a lot of potential to find kills off the top and off of the side with a very telegraphed recovery from a character like DDD.
Yeah, and especially I'm looking out for the up smashes. King DDD's up B goes very up high, and then he comes and slams down usually at the ledge, because if he hits the ground, he's stuck in end lag for forever. So you don't usually see high-level King DDDs going for that very often. But if at any point Botan opts to recover high, that Palutena up smash goes real high as well.
That's true.
And might just steal a stock here or there. So keep an eye out for all of it, right? Eyes certainly has the weapons to succeed in this matchup, but again, I mean, there's a lot more factors than just these character matchups. This is Ai's first time playing in a postseason for Shenandoah. There's a lot at stake here against a very talented team, and I mean, it's a big ask no matter what. But thankfully, Kip able to give his teammate an advantage, and here come the Nair trains.
Hollow Bastion is the map that we go to here instead. Very beneficial for, I believe, the Palutena with only one platform. It's a little harder to get out of these Nair chains as we see one go there. Goes for that up air instead, but can't quite find anything. And that is that recovery, right? Either to the ledge and that can go past it, and you will be so laggy in your response once you land off that ledge that it's really hard to really do anything out of it, right? I didn't really realize that that neutral B from Palutena would also be able to reflect that Gordo back, so that one almost nullified if you are further away, if you are this Palutena player, already racking up some decent percentage thus far, but won't be able to get that neutral B to go through.
Yeah, you're right. The neutral B also, I forgot about that would beat out a Gordo, and it reminded me in the moment that, whoa. I was definitely thinking he had a jump there. Ultimately realized it too late, so a tough break, and I have to make up that ground. But Palutena has a reflector as well in her counter. I believe if her counter gets hit by a projectile, it reflects, which not every counter in the game does, but Palutena, one of those exceptions. So, again, lots of weapons, lots of windows for opportunity for Palutena on paper, and so far, Ai's making the most of it. Just one little, or not so little mistake early on to lose that stock at a relatively early percent, but still plenty of time to make up for it.
Yeah, the Nair again coming through here. That's that side B that I mentioned as well, to try to find that kill off of the edge, but hasn't been able to connect it just yet. Going for that back air there, another kill option from the Palutena, but with a heavy character like DDD, it is pretty hard to find that kill. Two Gordos to the face, and a quick grab coming through from King Botan will be able to nullify some of the momentum, but still, Ice trying to fight back and trying to find some momentum to get back into the swing of things and find this first stock.
Yeah, again, we knew it was not going to be hard for Eyes to build up this percentage. It's just a matter of which one of those moves is going to be the one to kill, right? We've seen back airs, we've seen dash attacks get King DDD off stage, but none of them are taking this stock, now up to 190. Just going to need one, and out of the parry, the Nair does not confirm. Bit of a panic option for both players there, but DDD sitting safe in his shield, and Eyes still just looking for the one. Nair won't do it, 200% on this King DDD, and still looking for the kill.
Yeah, Nair will be able to connect again, but still won't be able to find that kill. The side special again coming through. The F-tilt instead will be able to find that kill. Finally one off the board, but 109% built up now. The Gordo connecting will launch up in favor of Ai's recovery, so that is a good thing for them. But now, let's see what you can do with these Nair strings. Two in a row, going for that up air as an immediate response. Was not able to connect, but still you can see the pressure potential that this Palutena can have against this character.
Yeah, I'm shocked that up tilt goes through the Nair, but it does. So Botan gets a bit of breathing room here as Eyes sits on the ledge and does get forced into his shield by the Gordo. Grabbed and thrown off stage. Two stocks still left for Eyes, but this is scary. All right. Wow. Can't even get away from the forward smash into the down tilt. So we'll take that stock. Both of these players now down to their last, but Botan looking pretty healthy so far, all things considered. And Eyes now in disadvantage once again. Can't roll past that forward tilt either, but will be able to up B to the opposite side of the stage.
And neutral B as well. Some rolls coming through from King Botan as well. And Nair just trying to catch a jump recovery, a jump option from King Botan, but can't find that connection either. Able to now find some back airs and some Nair strings of their own to bring Botan now up to 86%, but a lot of recovery play coming through from Eyes thus far, struggling to maintain stage control and stay in control of the momentum of this match.
Yeah, I have liked a lot of the spacing I'm seeing from Eyes, though. He is working around a good amount of these hitboxes, and you know, the moment you get hit by one, yep, here you go. Forced to sort of eat that Gordo, and better than taking that hammer to the face. But Eyes now a little close to losing this stock and not particularly close to taking DDDs, barring, an up smash or something like that. A smart move there to let go of the ledge and re-recover and not getting hit by the down tilt either. Nice upbeat there. Oh, doesn't avoid the forward air, excuse me. And, oh man, close call there, but will go unpunished for now. But little to no room for error left for Eyes, now up to 143%.
Holding that shield for quite a while, trying to get that final hit to launch DDD off that far side, but instead it's going to be the back air, I think it was the back air from DDD there to connect and find that kill. And now Botan, someone that we knew could do some damage into this roster, has done it and now finds FIU with a 7-6 stock lead.
Yeah, I didn't hate what I saw there from Eyes at all. They certainly made Botan work for it, and there were a lot of opportunities for success there. Something I would like to see more from this Palutena is I want to see Eyes go off stage. I know we've said it before, but a lot of those recoveries were very free for King DDD to just sort of waltz his way back on stage, whereas you saw the amount of pressure that King DDD was applying when Eyes was off stage. Palutena has the capabilities to match that, but Eyes just feeling a little uncomfortable going off stage and ultimately can't get those two stocks. So we've seen King Botan wreak some havoc against this roster before, but now it will have to be Igloo to go in and even this stock count and combined with Willie add up to 7 stocks.
Yeah, Igloo going to be the response, naturally keeping Willie in that anchor position for this SU roster. And you got to think that, I like what you said, right? Going off stage for Palutena is pretty safe as well, given how strong your recovery is. Your up B goes for miles, and you can really play fairly safe off of stage. So maybe that's something that Eyes tries to do the second time around here, try to apply some more pressure to try to nullify the recovery that Botan was able to find in that first set between those two players. But now it's behind us. It is Igloo's turn, 6 stocks to 7. Botan needs to get moved out of the way and the stock taken cleanly without losing one on the side of SU, because you still have Anathema on Rob and SureHyper on this Wolf waiting in the rings. Two very, very dangerous players.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's now a lot of pressure on Igloo to not only take this stock, ideally without much trouble, and go into, like you said, likely SureHyper and Anathema and go very even. And that's hard. It's down the line, right? If you're Igloo, all you can do is take this one stock at a time. I guess you're kind of asking yourself if this warrants a Samus. I don't think it does.
Fair. Yeah.
But worth mentioning that's in the toolkit. And we'll see if it comes out. We'll let you know as soon as we know, but I certainly would not expect it. And just ultimately lightening the load for what we assume will be Willie coming out eventually. Just how many stocks are still on the board when he shows up.
Yeah, I do agree that I don't think the Samus would be the right pick here, especially knowing that Wolf is in the wings as well, has that reflect and can really nullify a lot of the things that Samus wants to do, and it does not look like that will be the answer from Igloo. They will be going with that Yoshi. Yet again, the SDs still have to come through from Botan here, but 1 stock to 3. SU Igloo needs to come up with one very clean stock to tie this one up. Already going for the inhale there on the egg as well, just trying to get a quick little percentage on that one, but the down air instead, the approach coming through from Igloo. Very, very good and very calculated from this player.
Yeah, again, good news for Igloo is that the up B eggs do beat out the Gordo, as we just saw, so the ranged capabilities for King Botan in the form of the Gordo do sort of get outmatched by Yoshi's projectile options. So keeping an eye out for those inhales, right? Reflected eggs back at Igloo would be the only major threat at a distance, but ultimately Igloo is going to have to make his way in eventually, as we are seeing now. But Yoshi with these multi-hits can rack up some good damage. Again, it's just a matter of how do you take the stock once you get there.
Yeah, 95% already built up, going for that up smash. Already is Igloo, but can't quite find it. a nice forward air will be able to string some good damage together there as well. The back air trying to find any purchase, but can't quite find the sale. So we'll have to see what the approach is, right? We see Botan very high percent and will be able to find that kill at 120 on Igloo's Yoshi. Not what you want to see if you're SU in a very, very close first series.
Yeah, now no more room for error, right? I say it all the time, can't complain about trading 1 for 1, but if you're losing 2 stocks here, very different story. Igloo does land the back arrow out of the shield, 150% now on King DDD, and gets that Gordo placement awfully nice. So we'll give him some serious cushion, and the shield break comes through from the down B. So King Botan getting a little too comfortable in that shield. Igloo catches on and takes advantage, takes that stock, does lose one of his own, but thrusts Shenandoah into FIU's third player.
Yeah, third player now coming through from FIU. Igloo losing that stock, though, feels very hard now for SU to claw back from this deficit, knowing that it's most likely going to be SureHyper to come in on this Wolf, who played very, very well against SU in that first week matchup as we go into stage selection for both of these teams. But Igloo has a lot of experience into the Wolf and the Rob matchup on this Yoshi character, namely before on our Varsity Smash team, Nimstafa on the Wolf, a very, very good Wolf character and player is Nimstafa. And then we also have Elim, one of our GAs here at the school, able to play a very good Rob if the moment comes, the time comes for them to bring out that character. So good matchup experience and matchup knowledge from these last 2 players, or all of the players rather, into these last 2 characters for FIU.
Yeah, and you know, you got to make up ground somewhere, right? SU was just down 7-6, now 6-5. Where do you make up the ground now against these 2 players? That's the scary part, right? You would have loved, at least on paper, for that ground to be made up with Yoshi into a heavyweight that he can sort of string some of these multi-hit aerial combos onto, rack up percent, and then just take it clean. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So means that weight is likely going to fall on Willie to go in and take more than his batched 3. But we've seen him do that plenty of times. We know that can happen, but that also does depend on Igloo now likely trading 2 for 2 against whoever this next opponent is. And I don't know who FIU puts in here. Again, we did not see Anathema's Rob earlier in the season when these 2 teams played, because reminder, these 2 teams have played already, and we are just getting to watch it over again for round 1 of playoffs. But bit of a different story on FIU's, and if we will see that banjo, highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard for me to speculate on who FIU puts in here.
Yeah, I mean, and if it's SureHyper, one thing that we learned from week 1 is the player is very flashy. Tries to go for very aggressive, almost clip-like kills on SureHyper, which has resulted in some heavy swings in favor of the SU players in that week 1, right? You almost having kills onto Willie going off stage, missing a back air, a photo, whatever it may be, and it comes back to bite them later on, right? So SureHyper, I don't expect them to go for these flashy plays that they were going for in week number 1, but there is potential for some self-inflicted wounds with this player.
Yeah, and you raise a great point, and something that I forgot about, as we do have our character reveal in from FIU, and it's a Greninja. So I'm dying to see what the player name on the top of our screen is about to be when we load into game, because what? If this is Anathema again on a experimental character, no, all right, just a player that we were not prepared for. So, all right, fair enough. Santee, surprising us all, certainly surprising us behind the desk. Whoa. Unsure if this is a surprise to the players, but we'll see if it amounts to good value for FIU. So far, this Greninja's cooking a little bit, playing with the speed to hopefully apply some pressure for FIU and take this Yoshi off their screen.
Yeah, the fun thing about Greninja is that they have one of the best jumps, I believe the best jump height in the game, if not second best behind Falco. Oh yes, it is Falco with the best jump height. Thank you for the correction. I saw your little hand signal.
Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, Greninja's game plan is pretty much dash attack and combo into any aerial you want. So that is what we have been seeing a lot of the time. A lot of kill confirmations as well with the down tilt into a very fast up smash as well has been known to be a very, very powerful kill confirm on Greninja's side. So if you see Yoshi, Igloo getting up to a high percentage and you see down tilts getting thrown through right there, they are going for the kill right now in that instance.
Yeah, and the good news about that game plan for SU is that dash attacks are extremely easy to shield and then punish. Just as a move, a dash attack is very punishable on most characters. Greninja, less so, right, because it comes out so fast and the end lag is not nearly as brutal as some other characters. But when you have a game plan like that, Igloo more than knows what is coming. And that time, able to jump out of the forward air, I think is what I just saw.
Yeah.
And now shielding the side B, an up smash takes that stock, and just like that, SU has a stock lead. This is disastrous for FIU.
Oh my gosh, the string getting put together from Igloo there as well. A sour spot on that forward air allows Igloo to survive. Can they find the recovery? Yes, they can, just barely. Going for that grab as well. Just trying to seal the deal on this stock if they can. Up tilts getting thrown out left and right up throw. Expecting another forward air, but won't go for it instead. Igloo able to land safely. Back throw.
Wow.
Won't find it either. I do not believe Greninja has a very true kill throw. We'll be able to find good launch angles, but at this very high percent of 193, still unable to find this kill.
Yeah, and I think his jump got eaten there.
Yep.
Tough break for Igloo, but after an incredible run, still poised to put SU in a great spot. Obviously eyeing a 3-stock, and you can always look back at it and want more, but this is a massive swing of momentum. And again, I don't want to look too far ahead, but that means either Anathema or SureHyper will not be playing in this set, and that's huge news for SU. I don't mean to downplay Santee here, but I mean, Anathema and SureHyper are both ranked in the state of Florida. They carry a lot of weight, and that means one of them is out of commission. We'll get there when we get there now, as Santee's been racking up some damage of his own and keeping this thing close after Igloo was really starting to pull away with it as, able to jump out of the up smash.
Able to jump out of that kill, confirm the fair coming through, going for that spike as well, but can't quite find it. The recovery, that was a very fast turn of events there. The forward smash coming through as well from Sandy, going for that parry, expecting that forward air to come through, but instead it's just a very safe landing from Igloo instead. But now all of these players going for so many shadow sneaks left and right. The up air will connect, and all of a sudden SU are up 4-3.
Yeah, it felt like there was a lot of really panicky options there out of Santee, and after watching one by one them all whiff, it felt like Igloo was just bound to come away with that stock eventually, and sure enough, jumping right into an up air will confirm it. So, yeah, again, a massive swing of momentum here. We were talking about whether or not Igloo would even be able to trade 2 for 2 with whoever we saw come out just then. Not only does he do better than that, he knocks the player out, only loses 1 stock, is still in the game, and has an opportunity to create even more of a cushion for Willie if Igloo loses this last stock.
We are in a very interesting circumstance right now, Chris. I mean, SureHyper and Anathema expected both to play in this series, and now we will only see one of them in this first set between these teams. I don't know what to expect anymore, because, I mean, I thought surely this is going to be SureHyper on the Wolf. Hey, see what I did there? Whoa. And then Anathema on the... That's
sorry.
Crazy. And Anathema on the Rob, but I don't know. I'm shocked. I mean, I did not expect a Greninja of all people or all characters to come through here, because that is not something that we saw in the scouting reports at all.
I'm just as speechless as well. It's not for us to speculate on, why one of those players isn't going in, whether they can go in or not, or if that was just a decision in the moment. Excuse me. that Santi was just feeling the matchup and ultimately ended up not feeling the matchup. Not for us to speculate, but the only objective truth is that this is a massive opportunity for SU, and I would hate to see it wasted, especially if this opportunity does not last into future sets, right? There's nothing saying that we won't see both SureHyper and Anathema in future sets, but for this one, what we know is that we won't. So we did get word that it'll be SureHyper anchoring this FIU squad on the Wolf. Again, a player who we've seen find serious success into this SU squad before. So this set is not over at all, but there's an opportunity for SU, and I certainly hope we will see them make the most of it.
Wolf went blue skin, by the way. Like, I don't know. Like,
not feeling
purple, black, those are like so much better, right? But, I mean, all the jackets do.
I guess to each their own.
Yeah, to each their own. Everyone has their own preference, but I think actually the blue looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. Now that I see it like
your mind
in
already.
action. Yeah, already. Yeah, flip-flop real quick. Blue's kind of cool, but still prefer the purple. But anyways, already Igloo with a pretty good start into this matchup. 43% built up already here. SureHyper trying to get some good aerial possession and chains going, trying to go for that back air earlier there as well, but could not find the connection and the sweet spot that they were looking for on that back air.
Yeah, Igloo's finding his way in with these neutral Bs, but again, the big window, or the way that SU cracks this window open even more is if Igloo's able to walk away with a stock here, right? And going even stocks into Willie is just a head-to-head, and SureHyper will be the one to make sure this doesn't get any more out of control than it did last matchup. So we get a nice clean 3-3 between SureHyper and Willie.
SureHyper on that ledge guard as well, right before Igloo goes down to the up smash, was hunting, searching for that back air to find that kill, but instead the up smash is the one that comes through. It scoops from the sides, so Igloo landing just a little bit too close to Wolf's up smash will be able to find the kill. And now, like you say, a 3-on-3, a little zoom in on the GOAT plushie. This is something cute that and very cool actually that the SU roster has been doing. Whoever gets play like MVP, like match MVP, they get that little GOAT plushie and they get to keep it for the week. And whoever wins MVP player of the match next week gets to take that little GOAT plushie and take it home because they are the GOATs of the day. So right now I think that was a foreshadowing to Willie potentially being the GOAT here tonight. We'll have to wait and see as this one now comes down to 3 stocks to 3 stocks.
Right, yeah, no more antics, no more extracurriculars in this. This is just a raw head-to-head, and that's something that I think is good news for both of these players, right? You know, it's easy to get caught up in the pressure of the moment, knowing that you have more stocks behind the player, but like a lot of these players compete on their own as an individual at locals or in online tournaments, whatever. So they are very used to these 3v3s. Willie, I know especially, thrives in these, online tournaments that are just head-to-heads. So, little mental aspects like that, I think, benefit both players in their own ways. But yeah, teams are gone. Now, this is just a 1v1 to determine set 1. Again, I'm so hung up on the fact that we did not or are not going to see Anathema in this set, and I'm so curious if we will in future sets, but that's a question for 30 minutes from now. Right now, all that matters are the stocks ahead of you, and for these two players, they are very difficult stocks to take.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Willie goes here. We know we have the Terry on the back end as well as the Kazuya, of course, that we have seen from this player time and time again. I'd expect to see the Kazuya be the answer because, obviously just more playtime and also just the little gimmicks that Kazuya can have, especially up against Wolf, a character that likes to be up close and personal with you as well. Not a lot of long-range attacks other than that regular laser gun, but that can just be reflected by a boot from Kazuya and tossed right back towards you. So we'll have to see what the character selection is from Willie. It has to be Willie to come in here for this roster as well as that anchor, the last one standing. So I don't know. It'll be interesting 3v3 as we go through what the stage selection is. It looks like we might be getting close to selecting our stage here for this final 3v3. The hand is moving around frantically on our screen, but instead, Smashville is the response and will be the map selection here for this last match.
Yeah, the only other question for Willie is who does he play? And I mean, we just had it revealed for us, but I was curious if he might play Terry. He won't. It will be Kazuya for Willie, and I think that makes sense, given the situation, given the playstyle of SureHyper. I think Kazuya will tend to put himself in better scenarios compared to Terry. But I just wasn't sure, right? Sometimes Willie's Terry surprises me. He pulls it out in times where I'm never expecting it. But no surprises this time. Just a head-to-head between a Kazuya and a Fox on, what did we say, Smashville? Smashville. Yep. So, as the players are loading in, a lot of pressure on this moment. We are only in set 1 of this series that could very, very seriously go into 3 sets. But we'll get there when we get there, because the only thing that matters now are these 6 stocks on your screen.
Willie's serious when this is the skin that, oh my gosh, going for that up smash right off the rip when this skin is in play. But right now, SureHyper playing very, very well in the air. Already 71% built up onto Willie's first stock, going for 2 fairs as well, going for that back air as well for the kill, but can't quite find the connection. Willie able to get back to screen, throwing out electrics left and right. We'll be able to land one, possibly another, but the spot dodge in time. Another back air coming through, and that will be the immediate grab. And all of a sudden, these stocks are pretty much evened up with the click of a button.
All right, that's that rage drive value, and he does get the electric off the ledge. That will confirm to an up B, and Willie strikes first, but SureHyper looking to make sure that lead doesn't last long.
Yeah, up smash will be the response. Won't be able to find that kill either, just trying to get that down air as well through that platform to get some chip damage. A grab coming through, electric will land and might be able to look for a spiker. The side B, the recovery option coming through from SureHyper as well. Very dangerous option, so much end lag off of that move, but won't be punished for it as Willie unable to capitalize on that very prime opportunity.
Yeah, he did get a grab off of it, but not much more than that. Sort of ran out of stage to work with, but again, gets the electric off the ledge, and that confirms into an up B as well. Spot dodges the up smash, and he's going for another one. The pressure is on, and SureHyper seems to be falling for it as 60% on this stock. One more up smash does confirm 180% wiped off the board for Willie, but now 2 stocks to work with, and only needing really 1 or 2 more interactions for Willie to take this last stock.
I mean, 2 up smashes ripped in a row trying to find that stock off of Willie, and now struggling to find any approach here towards Willie. We'll be able to find that parry. Going for the grab, spot dodge into, or rather the fair into the dash attack, a forward smash as well. SureHyper playing with fire right now, 108%. Wolves got a boot to the face, and that will find the kill. SU take the first set of this best of 3 series.
Again, I think that boils down to knowing your opponent so well, because what did you say before we saw SureHyper come in? He's pretty flashy. He likes to go things that look pretty, and a lot of that is the side B recovery, the random smash attacks. When down 2 stocks, we were seeing so many grossly illegal options come out, and Willie was more than ready to capitalize on more than one occasion. So SureHyper not able to keep up with the pace, and Willie walks away trading only 1 stock for SureHyper's 3, and SU takes a convincing set 1 over FYU.
I don't know what to think right now. I mean, Greninja, a curveball getting tossed into this lineup. Anathema not playing in that first series, and an elimination series here in playoffs. SU playing very, very well. Kip able to find 4. I believe it was Eyes with 2 of their own, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe just the 1.
I believe the 1.
Yeah, I believe just the 1 off of the DDD. And then Igloo with 4, and then Willie responds with 3 of their own, only losing 1 stock as well. A lot of these players just etching out these very small advantages, just these 1 stock advantages in their 3 stocks, pays dividends here in this first series.
Exactly, and that's what has been Shenandoah's winning formula for years now. Again, I touched on it earlier that this team is not comprised of superstars, but it's a lot of evenly matched, just strong players. And it's much more sustainable when you're asking your players to go take 3 stocks or 4 stocks or no less than 2, ideally. Than asking one player in the anchor position to go out and take 7 every set, right? This team continues to put themselves in positions where each other can succeed, and it's what gave them an undefeated regular season. It's what gave them success in NECC playoffs last semester, got them all the way to a national championship, and right now we're seeing exactly bare bones Shenandoah Smash Bros right now. And it's becoming too much for FIU.
Yeah, I mean, Willie as well on that first stock, that first 3-on-3 stock, it looked like Sure Hyper kind of had their number on that first stock as well. Got up to that 100% and unlocked that rage drive, that kill button on the side of Kazuya. Went from 30% up to like 92 in one move. And all of a sudden, it's right back to even. Willie able to take that first stock and get great percentage built up on that second stock as well. And in the end, Sure Hyper was not able to make up that ground after that first stock. And now we are poised and ready to go for this second series, a match point here for SU as we go through character selections, some map selections as well for these 2 teams.
$1 million question. Is Anathema coming or not? I mean, like, we can't rule out that possibility for the rest of the night just based off set 1, but that's alarming to me. I mean, there's no reason that Anathema and Sure Hyper are not both playing for FIU if they are both available. So I can't make the math work in my head, and that makes me think that Anathema might be MIA for tonight.
Maybe,
but it's something that I'm just not comfortable ruling out until we get there. So again, and I have to assume that if we're going to see Anathema, it would be, later on in the set, but I say that.
This is interesting. We just got a little sneak peek on what these players are going to go in, and it's a switch up on both sides.
These teams are cooking.
Igloo is going in first on the Yoshi, and Sure Hyper, the anchor from that last series, is going in first on their Wolf. What do we think about the switch up? What is the game plan? Is Robin maybe getting saved? Is it DDD instead towards the end? Or did Anathema just walk through the door? I don't know.
Okay, so in my head, right, there's a lot of rock, paper, scissors going on here about, do I go rock because my opponent went scissors last game, or do I go paper because I'm expecting them to, switch based off mine? It's hard for me to get down to why we're starting Igloo, but what I do think is true is that Sure Hyper just got rocked. I mean, let's not sugarcoat that. So I think Sure Hyper turns to his team and goes, I'm not playing that matchup again. Somebody else is going to have to figure that out. What I am going to do is create value for my team, again, where I know I can. And to Sure Hyper, I think that was first into Kip's Pac-Man, with a reflector, with strong aerial options and all of that. But then into Eyes as well, right? I think Sure Hyper saw value on the front end and tried to catch SU off guard. Shenandoah clearly sniffed something out. I don't know that it was Sure Hyper coming up to the front that they were predicting, but clearly SU was sniffing something out, and they determined that Igloo's Yoshi is the best thing to start. I cannot figure out what that's meant to go into, but what I do know is that I don't hate it at all into Sure Hyper's Wolf.
I have to assume they were possibly taking a pool into Greninja. I feel like Igloo played so well into the Greninja, and FIU maybe putting that player up front to save the stronger 3 towards the back end, trying to avoid that Yoshi matchup specifically was what they might have been looking for. And Sure Hyper, they might have called that, right? They might have assumed that Igloo might try to go in and take care of their Greninja, because Sure Hyper played very, very well into Igloo's final stock, not losing one, and took care of that series, that matchup, very, very quickly.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if we were live here or not, if this was a button check, based off how the players were playing, and I still kind of can't. Because this is a little weird, the way that they're avoiding each other to start. But, yeah, we're sort of waiting to see.
We're hitting each other, though. So
exactly.
Like, yeah.
I'm not entirely sold either direction. I mean, I have to assume that we would not be up to 56% if this wasn't real. So we're going to assume that this is real, and now I certainly think it is, as we are well underway here. Man, charging an up smash, Igloo not falling for that one. But again, it's the flashiness, it's the aggression that Sure Hyper plays with, and sometimes it is predictable.
Yeah, Sour Spot back air there as well, unable to find that kill. The down smash coming. That side B, man, that is so dangerous to try to recover with. Luckily, the Nair sends them back onto the stage. A dash attack trying to find that kill onto Igloo stock. Another forward smash as well, just trying to find anything that they can. Ripping up smash onto the shield coming through from Igloo as well, but still both of them. Oh my gosh, a chase. Oh, the down, the roll away, and the kill to boot. Igloo, how on earth did you just live that?
It all feels so illegal. Though watching Sure Hyper play gives me a heart attack because they're so aggressive, and I never think it's going to work. But a lot of it, Sure Hyper does get away with, and a lot of it might be safer than I'm thinking or than I'm ready for. As we get a taunt there from Sure Hyper, we'll see if we'll see how that works. But everybody take note that we did just get a taunt from Sure Hyper down one stock, and very early on in the series. I'm going to move on from that. But Igloo up to now 150%, and Sure Hyper whiffing that grab, able to parry the first jab, but not the second. And Igloo absolutely has not taken his foot off the gas, is not worried about how high of a percentage he's at, but that time, Sure Hyper able to take advantage.
That one able to connect that back air is there, and being that close to that ledge on a very, very powerful kill move, you'll die pretty much every single time. Now, Sure Hyper back up to around 50% here. Igloo trying to keep the momentum going in their favor, but some fares coming through into that Nair as well, able to connect the back air again coming through from Igloo. But both of these players really trying to play their space, it seems like. Sure Hyper now getting a little bit more aggressive, pushing forward with these forward airs, but still has not been able to rack up a whole lot of percentage with the aggression coming through from Sure Hyper.
Yeah, I really like all of the forward airs that Igloo is just putting out there, right? One of them might just confirm into a spike, and then we see an up air, and that, like, well, Wolf might just blow up. You know, I really like the forward air options that we're seeing from Igloo as he tries to get the jab lock into the down B. Doesn't quite connect that time. Sure Hyper keeping the percentage close here, but a lot of lethal moves coming out from Igloo. Not so much the other direction, as, again, I'm like, what is that?
Not what you wanted to do in that
so
sense.
Illegal.
Like that, I mean, while, yes, would look cool if you hit it, you gotta hit it if you want that to work, right? You go wide, you aren't able to recover off of it as quickly. Your positioning is now completely askew, and Igloo has complete control of the stage, and you end up losing a stock off of it, right? You're at 98% here on the side of Igloo's second stock. You don't have to go for anything that crazy. That is a great option coming through there out of shield from Sure Hyper. Again, another, and a forward smash to boot. So many kill options coming through, but none of them connecting.
This is fighting game mentality 101, right? You have mix-ups. You have moments where you can go for something and your opponent gets hit by it, they blow up, and then they're stuck saying, oh my god, I can't believe you went for that. But when you're always going for that option, usually that option is extremely punishable, and that's what we're talking about, right? It's a lot of these decisions that SureHyper is throwing out are the type of thing where if they connect, yeah, SU's losing a stock every time. But when you're going for it every time, SU's good enough to be able to play around it, and that's why we're not seeing it work for SureHyper. This time, though, he does even the stock count one more time, but 72% now onto this Wolf and going for another grab. It misses, and now with an opportunity to even this stock or this percentage count a little bit, but Igloo looking to avoid that altogether.
Yeah, 98% built up on this stock, but a good aerial combination coming through from SureHyper. A very, very close last stock scenario in just the first matchup of set number 2. Both of these players fishing for something to back. They're connecting into the forward smash, and that will do it. Igloo able to take SureHyper off the board in the first matchup.
I mean, that's huge. I don't have anything else to say to that other than that is FIU's anchor down and out through one player from SU, period. That's nightmare fuel for any collegiate crew battles roster. The $1 million question now comes back into play. Was that decision made because Anathema is sitting somewhere in the back? We won't know till we get there. But you got to take it at face value. SureHyper is out and only took 2 stocks. That, I don't care who is left, is massive news for SU's future.
I mean, you can see lip reading from Igloo. He goes on a stretch and goes, "Oh my gosh." That he is feeling pretty good right now after getting SureHyper out of the way, especially how that first, the 1 stock to 3 stock situation went in set number 1. Now, oh man, I don't even know what you do if you're FIU, right? You're down now to Sanity, Lucas Korn, and Botan, the players that we know are in the arena and in the space. The Dominator has not played all year long. That would be a wild turn of events if we see Dominator right now. I wouldn't even know what to think. I'd probably just stay quiet throughout the entire map selection, the entire champ select,
I would rulebook
and just wait to go into the game. Because like right now, it's such a toss-up of what FIU have available to them right now.
Okay. Greninja's off the table, right? Has to be. You are not, after the performance we saw in set 1, you are never consciously, intentionally going, I want more of that. So we are not going to see Santi. I'm going to say that now. No shot. So who looked good into this Yoshi? Well, Botan was able to trade 1 for 1 with only 1 stock to work with. Able to take that first stock, maybe turn that into more, but I do think that Igloo has good experience into Botan, and I think where Botan thrived was into Eyes. So maybe you're not trying to force Botan yet. Maybe you just go back to Robin, the one matchup that we haven't seen, and just see what happens and hope that you can maintain your value for later on, but risk losing it all like right now. I don't know. FIU is in a corner right now.
Yeah, I'm just confused of what the play was to try to put SureHyper in this early. It makes me feel like Anathema has to be here somewhere, because now if you look at the rest of the roster that we've already seen, none of them really seem like anchors other than Botan right now. Botan was the anchor in the week 1 matchup that we saw between these two teams, and they played pretty darn well. We do have the sneak peek of what the options in the character selection will be. It will be Lucas Korn on the Robin going into Igloo's Yoshi. 1 stock to 3 stocks in favor of FIU in this sense, but still 10 stocks to 9 stocks in favor of SU.
I think this is the right decision, given the circumstances. Because again, all Robin has to do is take 1 stock to even this out, right? Let's, if we're trying to not overthink this, there's only 1 stock separating these 2 teams. Now, again, I don't think those 9 stocks to 9 stocks are equal, but that's a discussion for another day. If Lucas Korn here is able to take this stock, not lose one of his own, you're in business, right? The set is not over. So now Igloo is definitely going to be the one looking to blow this open and maybe take a stock, maybe more, God forbid. But you know, we get there when we get there, one stock at a time. You can only deal with the stock that's right in front of you. But the reversal, and he doesn't have his jump. Man, aggressive decision-making for Igloo. I mean, you know what he was looking for, but ultimately, that's part of the risk of going for aggressive decisions like that. The down air spike hitbox connects, and even stock count, just as I said, right? That's kind of all you could ask of Lucas Korn in that situation, and he makes the most of it.
Honestly, I don't hate the look from Igloo. Just you played so well in both of these sets and against Sure Hyper. You're just trying to snag an advantage immediately off of that Robin stock. Is not able to find it, but it doesn't feel like it's the end of the world, right? We're 9 stocks to 9 stocks now. We know that Robin is the one in play, and I don't know what the response is. If it's Eyes or Kip, I would not assume that it would ever be Willie in this scenario. So I feel like Kip going in here could be able to find the kills that they were able to find in that first set as well, but we'll have to wait. It looks like the team is talking it over very, very thoroughly.
Yeah, and I get it, because you would kind of hate to put Kip in here and have him lose 2 or 3 of his stocks, because that does put a lot of pressure on the Eyes then to perform. Sure. And Eyes is a first year. He's never competed in a postseason like this. That's a lot of pressure that, if you can avoid it, I think would be nice. So I get it. This is a tougher decision than it might seem. And it looks like we get a little preview here of who it will be. And I think this is the right decision. It looks like Eyes will be going in to this Robin. And while Lucas Korn looks very strong, I'm hoping that Eyes is able to just take 1, maybe 2 stocks, keep this thing close, make Lucas Korn work for it, which we know that Eyes can do, and at least keep this thing in range for then Kip and Willie to hold the back end.
Yeah, because Kip went into this Robin, right, and took 3 stocks, right? Survived with 1, and if you get it down to only a 3 stock to 1 stock in favor of Kip, Kip can do some serious damage if they have stocks up and available into Botan or Santi here on the Greninja as well, still waiting here in the wing. So Eyes could, I feel, make a statement here in this matchup up against Lucas Korn, and could really thrust SU into a very, very advantageous position.
Yeah, it's just now who deals with Botan later on.
Fair.
I mean, I guess it's probably Willie is the answer. Willie, I would take very comfortably into King Botan now that I think about it. But still, I mean, tough, right? Botan has been a force in every time these two teams have played, which has now been a handful of times. And Botan has been consistently taking more than 3 stocks just about every time. So I get a little anxious with a head-to-head between Willie and Botan. But on paper, I mean, I would take Kazuya into a DDD 100 times out of 100. Yeah. So hard to speculate. Again, we'll get there when we get there, but right now it does look like it'll be Eyes' Palutena into this Robin. And again, this is where I think FIU could bring this whole thing back if Robin only loses 1 or 0 stocks. Then SU does kind of have their hands full on the back end.
Yeah, this is going to be a very important matchup in this series, potentially a series-defining matchup here as well. 3 stocks to 3 stocks. We can already see the Thunders getting tossed out left and right thus far. Eyes struggling to get anything going on their end, but just catching the tail end of 2 Nairs, able to get some momentum back in their favor. And here comes the Nair to up air combination, already looking very, very strong up against this Robin, going for the ledge guard, but can't quite find it. It's going to be Lucas Korn able to recover quite cleanly and get back to stage. We're still at a slight disadvantage. Dash attack coming through as well. Searching for this back air. Nair is there into the forward. The side special trying to connect, but can't find anything. Thus far, Eyes looking very good into this Robin matchup.
Yeah, holding his own, and that's all you can ask for. Making him work for it. I've said it out a couple times now, and Eyes is very much consistent on that front, as now able to recover the opposite direction, forced to shield the Arc Thunder. But doesn't get grabbed for it, which is good news, as the Levin Sword is now back online, gets the parry. But the second hit on the Nair does connect, so missed opportunity there for Eyes. But again, even percentages go in both directions. And yep, the Arc Fire into the down smash. Those ledge options from Robin are very overwhelming.
95%, however, still built up, but we said this earlier, don't be tricked by the size of Robin, a very heavy character, very hard character to kill, and already you can see the momentum, this Robin playing so well. Lucas Korn already getting so much extra credit on this second stock onto Eyes. Let's see what Eyes can do here off of this ledge guard, playing it safe yet again, just going for these 2 frames. The grab is there, but they cannot follow up with anything off of it.
Yeah, opts to catch the Levin Sword that time, but unable to get much from it. And now all the way up to 92% again. He's going to go off stage there, but won't go below the stage. Try to get that 2 frame, won't connect. Forward air connects, and it does connect into, or confirm into the up air. Off the spawn platform, goes for the up smash. It gets shielded, and that's pretty bad news for Eyes, as now Lucas Korn is more than running away with this.
65% already on Eyes' last stock. The Nosferatu there as well, able to heal quite a lot of damage. Back down to 107. Tossed off the map goes Eyes. 95%. You have to feel like this might be it, the way that Lucas Korn has been playing. The grab into the forward throw, the Nair as well. Won't be able to find the kill, but finally going for some ledge guard options, going for this tech.
I like it. Okay.
Almost able to find that stock.
I love it. I love that that's even in the wheelhouse. It doesn't result in a stock, but you're applying pressure, and that's huge. We'll see if they opt to go for it that time. It gets hit by the Thunder, so it won't be the ledge guard that we're looking for just yet. Forward air gets shielded. Now both of these players could lose their stocks just about at any interaction. You see Eyes looking for these dash attacks. The grab coming out. Palutena's not really going to be able to confirm off a grab, but the dash attack not enough. We talked about it. Robin, an extremely heavy character. Hard to kill, and a dash attack at 150% somehow not enough.
Yeah, the recovery has to be perfect here from Eyes. We'll be able to get back to stage just barely. Slide, the dashes, the rolls, the grab, back throw, and that will be Eyes off the board. 3 very clean stocks coming through from Lucas Korn. And now, SU might be in some trouble.
Yeah, what felt like such a strong start to this set has gone rather sideways. That kind of felt like the one thing that SU couldn't afford to happen was a 3 stock there, and sure enough, Lucas Korn delivers. So, with Sure Hyper off the board, FIU still has some life, and now SU forced to play their hand a little bit, and again, as you see on your screen as well as us, it will be Kip going in, and we've seen this matchup played, and it took Kip 2 stocks in order to do it. But in this situation, those 2 stocks are way more valuable. So FIU is in quite a favorable position here.
Yeah, Willie and Kip, the last 2 standing. Lucas Korn, of course, still in with 3 stocks remaining. And Botan and Santi, the 2 left from that first set that we saw. So it's going to have to be a very big performance from both of these players, now finding themselves down 9-6 in favor of FIU. Let's see what Kip can do here up against this Robin. They did win this 3 stock to 3 stock to start that last set. And Kip went on to get 1 more after that as well. We'll have to see if Kip can do that again here and salvage some of the damage that was dealt by this Robin player.
Yeah, no easy task for Kip and Willie here to split 9 stocks between the 2 of them, especially given that this Rob is playing very hot right now, and King Botan is sitting somewhere in reserve, as well as presumably that Greninja. So hard to make up ground now if you're SU, but they're going to have to find a way to do it, as now we do get back into this matchup again. I expect this to be slow, a lot of the same as what we saw in set 1. A lot of even matchups, a lot of Levin aerials coming out, and now we see the Levin Sword off limits. So a bit of an opportunity here for Kip, but you see it already about 90% of the way back. That's huge news for Kip. You saw Lucas Korn go for the side B. The arc fire was out. That's the resource management we're talking about. He did not have any magic to use. So Kip takes advantage and steals a stock early against a very heavy character.
Yeah, only 44% built up on this first stock for Kip here as well. Just as I say that, a good combination coming through from Lucas Korn, but still, let's see how much extra credit Kip can get. Thus far, already up to 55% on the second stock. Key in hand, Perry tossing that one out. Won't be able to find the connection, the nair there as well. We'll be able to find that forward air into the down air as well. I mean, it looks so good right now. Oh my God! He read it beautifully. Kip, look at you go.
I mean, that was, again, a perfect setup. He puts the bell right on the ledge. I think Lucas Korn could have just sat on the ledge and not done anything, and the bell would not have hurt him. But hard to say, right? Especially when you're in the moment and you feel like you need to make a decision. He opts to roll in, and Kip knew it was coming. So now disastrous start for Lucas Korn, and just like that, one stock separates these two teams, where I was just saying that FIU was in such a favorable position. No longer, as Kip has absolutely tightened this gap.
I mean, Kip could go absolutely huge here. If they are able to hold on to this third stock, that would be unbelievable. Right now, Lucas Korn trying to seal the deal. 115% built up. That is a lot of percent on a Pac-Man. Now 130, having to try to find a recovery, and will be able to do so. Farming up some fruit is Pac-Man, but won't be able to use any of it, and good avoidance there from a potential killing threat from Lucas Korn.
Yeah, Thoron is a weird move. You're never going to see it come out very often because the end lag is insane. But obviously, I mean, you saw it. It's a massive laser that covers the entire stage and will kill you. So Kip able to avoid it and get a bit of a punish off the other direction. But again, I would be shocked if we ever see a Thoron come out again. Galaga gets caught, and the L-Wind might be enough to secure this stock. The trampoline's going to have to do some serious work. Oh, and the trampoline gets taken.
I think the up B actually took that away, able to hit that trampoline, going for the Nosferatu yet again, trying to get some of that percentage back, but not a three-stock Lucas Korn able to survive. With that stock remaining, able to get that one off the board on the side of Kip, but I mean, right now, Kip is playing so unbelievably well. And if they escape with two stocks and it's a 6-5, all of a sudden this game feels unbelievably winnable for SU.
Yeah, this now, again, two stocks separating these two players, these two teams. But Lucas Korn, excuse me, up to almost 90% already, and now throwing out the quick options, right, trying to make up the ground. But Keys coming out. Arcfire does land from across the stage. More thunders coming out from Robin to try and get some damage. Is that enough? Oh my God, it is! The bell connects, and again, Kip closes the lead to 1. I mean, that felt like it had to happen for Shenandoah to stay in this series.
6-5 now in favor of FIU. The players remaining that we know of are Botan on the DDD and Santi on the Greninja. Now, I don't know about you, but from that first set, if I'm FIU, I don't know if I'm feeling incredibly confident with the last two players that we have remaining. Botan, we know, can perform very, very well, but the Greninja in that first set was unable to get any stock. So that is a scary realization if you're FIU.
It's a very scary realization. So there's a couple things going through my mind right now. One, if I'm FIU after that set 1 performance, I sure as heck am not putting Santi in an anchor position into this team, right? That matchup looked like too much the first time into Igloo. Now, Igloo is off the table, but still, that would be a massive swing to go from you took 1 stock, you're going to be the anchor of this team. But the only reason that I'm even bringing this up is because I'm hesitant. Why am I hesitant? Because Greninja into Kazuya is kind of tough for Kazuya.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's not a nightmare matchup or anything, but it's better than King Dedede. Yeah. And that's what's holding me up. After strictly based off performance, I would feel great about moving King Botan into the anchor position, especially like between sets before seeing any of this. I don't hate putting Botan in the anchor position. He will have to deal with Willie, but someone has to, and Sure Hyper couldn't figure it out the first time, so I don't blame you for making a change. But now I don't love any of it, because those, I assume, are the only two players left, and I don't love putting either of them in either of those positions.
We do have a response coming through from FIU. It will be Botan on the King DDD, the friendly matchup between Kip and Botan that we've seen time and time again. And you mentioned the Greninja into Kazuya matchup as well. It is good for Greninja, but the way that it went up against Yoshi just does not feel like it is going to have that effect. Greninja is able to low profile a lot of the things that Willie is going to try to do, but I mean, first things first, you need to get through this Pac-Man who has been playing very, very well here tonight.
So does this mean Anathema's waiting? I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll get there when we get there, but that's kind of what this is telling me. But 2 Pac-Man stocks to get through first, and Pac-Man is going to make you work for it. Unfortunately, though, again, these two players very, very familiar with each other, and that's sort of part of Kip's appeal on Pac-Man is, you know, this is not a character we see all the time, but able to cook quite a bit into Lucas Korn on the Robin, and looking to replicate that success. So far, has not really been able to make his way in at all.
Yeah, 70% to 118 in favor of FIU on this stock. The Gordo getting tossed out yet again. The up air trying to secure that stock off the top. Can't quite find it, but you can see Kip struggling to get in close towards Botan right now. The Gordo buying so much space. The Bell going wide there as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Kip can find this stock with 1 remaining here, trying to make this a 5-3 game in favor of FIU. We'll have to wait and see, but right now, Botan playing very, very well.
Yeah, I'm noticing there's an issue. Everybody else on SU's roster has a pretty consistent way of dealing with the Gordos. Pac-Man doesn't, and that's causing some serious issues. You're seeing all the Gordos come out, and that time, Bell set up right where it needed to be, does get King DDD back off stage. Is going to look for another one, but the Bell able to save Kip from the Gordo. So, again, we'll look for it one more time, and the jump gets caught by the Bell. So Kip makes up for that first stock, able to take his first the other direction without too much trouble. Keep this thing close.
Yeah, now with 2 stocks left, Kip can do some serious damage and set Willie up with a winning formula. But you have to find this stock if you are Kip. It feels almost dire to be able to find this stock for Willie's anchor position here. Right now, going pretty well for Kip. Does get inhaled there, and the up air able to connect as well off of that Gordo too. Now up to 92% to 78%. Still very, very winnable for Kip. We'll have to see what happens. Won't be able to get the forward smash in time off of that Bell.
Man, that felt like it might have been the moment, but Kip does get caught by the Gordo and the flaming hammer, so Kip ultimately drops 2 stocks to 1, or only taking 1 on his way out, and this is not a gimme for Willie at all. FIU has done everything they needed to do to stay alive after what felt like a disastrous start and a disastrous response from Lucas Korn to Kip. FIU hanging in there, more than hanging in there, has a stock lead, but last set, nobody looked like they had the answers for Willie. Only 1 player got to play him, but we'll see if that story changes this time around.
Willie now down 2 stocks, 5-3. In favor of FIU. Botan remaining in the game, of course, with 2 stocks here. Let's see what Willie can do. A switch up of the skin as well. The golden suit coming through onto this Kazuya selection. I won't expect anything else to come through from Willie fighting from behind. How good the Kazuya looked in that first set as well. Willie just trying to seal the deal here and punch their ticket to the next round of playoffs, getting past this massive hurdle that is FIU. The winner of this will go on to play the winner of UNCG and Texas A&M International University. That is the matchup that is going up right above us in this bracket. Hey, Update, UNCG already won 2-0, so UNCG
Shocker.
will be the awaiting team here between these two teams. Yeah, I'm not too surprised myself either.
No, yeah, UNCG is like top 3 team in the country, I would say. They won NECC last semester, and they improved their team somehow. So that team is on fire. That team is going places. So that round 1 result does not surprise me even one bit. But now UNCG, like you said, waiting the results of this series. And again, I mean, if the 3 stocks behind King Botan are on the Greninja, I'm feeling pretty good about Willie. I'll say it. Those 5 stocks all of a sudden look pretty comfortable. If those 3 stocks behind Botan are a Rob that we haven't seen yet, or a Banjo, because why not?
True, yeah.
You know, we'll get there when we get there.
I don't know.
But ultimately, we'll find out after these 2 stocks, because these are not 2 easy stocks to get through. Willie is an incredible player. Do not get me wrong, but Botan has caused all kinds of problems. Again, every set that these 2 teams have played into each other, it feels like King Botan ends up overperforming, or at least outperforming our expectations, at least in this room.
Yeah.
So hard to say, but Willie has a clear task ahead of him, and it's to get through these 2 pesky King Dedede stocks.
Yeah, and Botan is very capable of getting stocks off of Willie. We've seen it many, many times when these two have played against each other. Already, however, trying
Willie.
to just go for the kill immediately, but now has to try to recover. Will be able to do so, going for yet another kill threat. Oh, going just for that electric instead of that grab. Botan holding that shield, able to avoid it for the time being. So we'll have to see what Willie can do, but right now, looking very poised to take 2 stocks very, very cleanly.
Yeah, really like that out of Willie. We saw a couple aggressive options in there, and I was getting a little worried that he might be getting too comfortable with how it was going already. But Willie settles back in and gets the job done on set 1, and that's the value of Kazuya, right? Sometimes these stocks literally just blow up. It does not matter who you're playing against, whether the character's light and any character can blow them up, or if they're a heavyweight and they just get hit by everything and then they blow up eventually, right? That's Kazuya. Now, King Dedede with a very strong recovery. Wow, that works! Oh my god! Okay, I didn't think the angle would be there. The down smash off the ledge does just connect. It catches the jump, and Botan goes soaring down to the blast zone, and Willie ties this thing up at 3 stocks.
You know, that gives me flashbacks to a certain Bowser clip that we've seen from Willie. Did that twice in a row to a recovering Bowser. Granted, that recovery is not the best when going up against a Kazuya that is very good at finding that spike down smash. But now, we're right back to 3 stocks to 3 stocks. FIU, Greninja is left, and possibly Anathema. I have no idea who is sitting in the chair right now for FIU. And if it's Anathema, this is going to be an insane match.
Yeah, this is going to be a banger. I mean, I don't mind telling you that. If Anathema's coming in now, especially on Rob, right, these are 2 just strong characters in the game. Both have a lot going for them into each other, and 2 very talented players piloting their respective options, excuse me. But, okay, I want to look back at this second stock. I really did not. I thought King Dedede was over the stage.
He definitely was.
But I guess not enough. And again, that down smash does send at a slight angle.
Oh, that's true.
It's enough, I guess. But that really does surprise me that worked. But doesn't surprise Willie, and he ties this thing up at 3. And the $1 million question, baby,
what's it gonna be?
Who are we about to see come in here? I don't know.
I feel like if Santi goes in on Greninja, it is a dire situation for FIU, right? I mean, Santi was not able to get the job done up against Igloo, and Willie was able to get the job done soundly against their anchor from that first set, Sure Hyper, right? So it's definitely, it feels to be, just based off these 2 sets that we have seen thus far, that Willie is at a massive advantage here in that matchup. Granted, Greninja does have some gimmicks with low profiling electrics with the dash attack, just crouching as a whole as well. We'll be able to dodge that electric, a massive combo starter in Kazuya's kit. But if Willie finds a way around it, Greninja is very light. They're just a frog, and they go flying quite far, quite quickly at very low percents.
Yeah, said it about DDD, right? Kazuya can just blow people up. It does not matter who you are. It doesn't matter how big your character is. It doesn't matter what percentage you're at. If he presses his buttons correctly, your stock evaporates. And I, as much as we have, hyped up this idea that Greninja can avoid certain hitboxes, Kazuya has plenty of ways to put you in electric position, and
True.
it's not that big a deal. So if I from what I saw in set 1, I don't think Stampy was enough to warrant or to counteract this, matchup mismatch in favor of FIU on paper. But I mean, anything could happen, right? That could have easily just been a tough showing, a tough matchup, forced Santi.
Yeah.
And maybe this player comes back and really surprises me. Anything's possible, absolutely. But the $1 million question: is it even gonna be Santi?
If we're right on Anathema, do we get like a split of $1 million? That would be sweet, right? I mean, we've said it quite a lot. So, all right.
We have our
answer. Santi, the Greninja, is the last line of defense here for FIU to keep their playoff hopes alive. 3 stocks to 3 stocks. Willie in that golden suited Kazuya. Let's see what Santi, excuse me, I almost said shanty like sea shanty, can do up against this matchup right now. Well, not a whole lot.
Yeah, I'll tell you one way that Willie can put you in electric position, and it's by grabbing you. And he's done exactly that twice now. So again, anything can happen, right? This is an even 3-3, a clean slate for both of these players. Santi's going to have to show us something that we did not see in set 1, but certainly I don't mean to say that it's something that Santi can't do. So we'll just have to see it. Willie already throwing out some kill moves, just trying to take this stock now at 88%. Up smash goes wide in the side B. We saw a lot of those come out against Igloo's Yoshi. And we'll see if Willie caught on to those as much as Igloo did, because Igloo really did not get hit by a single one of those.
Yeah, already these up specials, these recoveries coming through from Willie as well, just trying to seal the deal on this first side. The Shadow Sneak able to get through there. The forward air as well coming through, and a good ledge guard attempt with that recovery. That water will push you in the direction that it is shot, much like the Squirtle. We'll have to see. Oh, just trying to seal the deal there again. Is Willie on this Kazuya. Won't be able to find these stocks. A very, very close first few stocks right now between these two players.
Yeah, Rage Drive off the board as well. I said it, anything can happen, right? This has been a very even first stock, and Santi, the one to strike first in this one. Parried, upbeat, we tie the stock count, but, I mean, a lot closer than I think a lot of us would have given Santi credit for, especially based off of both of these players' respective performances in set 1. Anything's possible, right? 2 more stocks for both of these players.
Electric now able to connect. Won't be able to find that next Electric, however. Able to get a kind of a clank there on that one. And now the up air strings coming through from Santi. The air dodge coming through will be able to protect them from a third. But now the crumple, and that will be the second stock away from Santi. 1 stock now for FIU, and the grab going right into that down smash. Won't be able to connect. Willie just trying to end this series.
Yeah, that's been the big difference, that Santi's been able to avoid those interactions that I was talking about, where Kazuya does just evaporate your stock. So far, Santi's been able to avoid those, but on that second stock, one bad interaction at 40% and bang, your stock's gone. So now has some ground to make up, and this is not how you do it. With Rage Drive online as well, you might see Willie just throw that out to try to find the percentage before he loses it, but he'll lose his stock instead, and we're tied at 1.
54% on Greninja's last stock. Willie now on their last stock as well. Spot dodge, electric is there.
Is it
Up
enough?
smash connects.
Of course
that
it is.
Will do it off the top of Smashville. Willie able to clutch up an SU 2-0 FIU in playoffs.
How about it? Willie rarely disappoints for this roster, and in the anchor position gets the job done once again. A bit scary there at the end, I have to say. I have to credit Santee for surprising all of us, especially after set one. Again, very easily could have just been a bad day, been a bad matchup into Igloo, but can't quite get it done in the end, and Shenandoah 2-0 FIU in their rematch from week one with all forces in the world, including NACE, against them. They overcome all their adversity and advance to round two.
Yeah, now we have a rematch again in the next round of playoffs from NECC Grand Finals. It's UNCG, the awaiting team for SU. Another potential for a very, very good matchup as we take a quick look at what the bracket looks like. Maryville with a 2-0 win and UT Arlington with a 2-0 win as well. All 2-0s across the board here tonight in this first round of NACE playoffs.
Yeah, but everybody taking care of business so far. UT Arlington, very strong opponent. Maryville, very strong team as well. So both taking care of business in their respective sets. Delaware, a representative from Shenandoah's group, regular season group, unfortunately dropping out there. But FIU also now down and out alongside Texas A&M International University. So we make our way through the bracket. I'll remind you again, in case you came in late, that this is a zoomed-in version of the bracket. This is not the whole bracket. This is like a 32-team bracket, I believe. So still plenty of Smash left to be played for all the teams in playoffs. But SU 1-0 on the day and advancing to round two to attempt to avenge themselves for their NECC National Championship runner-up run last semester.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I heard our producer say that this next matchup will be on Saturday at 4. If I'm not mistaken, correct me on that. That is correct. Saturday at 4 will be the UNCG SU matchup, the rematch of the NECC Grand Finals. So that's going to be a good one. A weekend match coming through in these NACE playoffs. So surely you have nothing to do. It's the weekend. You're not working. You should watch.
That's what they're there for.
Exactly. We plan this all along so you can come and watch us play some Super Smash Bros. And pretty dang effectively, as well as we do have our MVP here, the GOAT of the night, who leaves with the plushie. It's Willie. 8-3, 2.7 ratio with 2 games played there. Our MVP of the night.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as Willie, right? This is what we've come to expect from this player time and time again, and thankfully we have him back here in the booth with us, so we get to talk a little bit about it. Willie, congratulations on a very impressive win one more time again over Florida International for the second time this regular season. What's going through your mind advancing to round 2 of these playoffs?
It's definitely it's this very weird mix of like stressful and like thrilling, because like I'm very happy we won, but also I know the threat of our next opponent. I feel like we were able to give the team a very, very good showing this time, and we played really well, which I'm very happy about. We had some very critical game-winning moments. I think Avery's one-on-one with Shira Hyper was honestly game-winning, but it was such a weird experience having to play them again, being this much farther into the bracket this time and seeing how those players have come to adapt. Because, we only played them for the first week of normal season. It was like a couple days, maybe 1 week in a school. So we sort of saw them at sort of their rawest point. But now that they've had like these months to prepare, refine their strategy, we saw more of the Greninja that time as well. Like, I feel like it gave a lot of insight into the ways that they were preparing, and I'm very impressed with how they played.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great matchup through and through all of the sets. Now, I do want to ask about this Greninja specifically. A little bit of a curveball tossed into the mix of things. When we went up against them in week 1, it was Anathema instead of Santee on that Greninja. What were adjustments like into this character? What is that matchup like for you going up against Greninja in that last set?
So it's very strange. At least in the case of Anathema, I think it's a very unique problem to have, because we were on the assumption that Anathema was going to be playing Rob this time. Anathema is an extremely formidable, seasoned veteran of competition, and we were trying to play around him best we could, assuming that he would be in that last anchor position. So when we saw the Greninja come in game 1 as their third player, we did get a little bit confused, because at that point it meant it was between him and Shore Hyper, who I believe are their two strongest players. But it sort of caught us off guard, especially because it wasn't Anathema, but also because it was Greninja specifically. Because Greninja is a character where I feel like all of our characters do, like, understandably into him. Like, it's a little bit of wins, a little bit of losses around the matchup chart for the whole team, but I feel like generally it's pretty straightforward what would happen. Kazuya, I do believe, has Greninja as one of his worst 5 matchups in the game. Solely for no other reason than he cannot get comboed. He has a frame 2 air dodge, which is 1 frame faster than the majority of players or characters in this game, and just fast enough to where my upward kick at the diagonal into electric will not connect. And that combination of him being very slippery, like, his idle animation is very low to the ground, and because of that, like, even if he's just running at me, if I do electric, he will hit that area right under, like, my elbow, and he'll be able to get a free punish on it. So that's a very intimidating factor. As you might have noticed for a lot of that game, I feel like I was relying so much more on, like, my stray hits and my ability to call out those very slight things he was doing wrong. And I feel like it's such a strange way to have to play, especially having just come off of the D2D. It's definitely first, I think, for having to switch playstyles that quickly. But I'm very impressed with how I did.
Yeah, absolutely. And you should be. That was a very strong showing into both of those characters. I want to talk about your mentality in that second set as well, because, like, we back here and, you know, all the people in the arena have become dangerously comfortable with you going into these 3, 4, 5, even 6 stock scenarios and just going in and taking care of business. But this one, yeah, you know, you've got a nightmare matchup or potentially Anathema sitting back there and we don't know it, right? What's going through your mind, right? You clean out those 2 DDD stocks with 0 trouble, and then Greninja gives you a heck of a run for your money. Did mentally you do anything different for this series, or is it kind of just business as usual for you?
I actually did. Normally I wouldn't take D2D to PS2, but like, normally I was considering going something like maybe Smashville or Small Battlefield, so I could get in close quickly, maybe do something like, I don't know, like be able to electric his Gordos, get in faster than normal. But Avery brought up something when we were discussing stages, which is that on Hollow Bastion, one of those smaller stages we were talking about, I might have an easier time dealing with a Gordo with, like, laser. And at that point I started thinking, what else is wrong with PS2 at this point? Because theoretically, I have the space to deal with DDD's subpar movement. I don't die as easily, and it's just a lot harder for him to get the kill than it is for me, because for a character as big as DDD, Kazuya has, like, a combo that will almost always work at any percent. So it, like, adds this very strange dichotomy of a character who is really struggling to kill that normally doesn't, and a character who normally always wants to get in but doesn't have to anymore. And, like, I felt like PS2 was a right decision in that moment, specifically because it gave me the opportunity to step back, get my bearings, prepare for the Greninja, while taking as little risk as possible. Because if I was on something like Smashville or Small Battlefield, I might have had more opportunities where either I'd go in and I'd get the kill, or I'd tragically, like, whiff, and DDD's right outside of my range, ready to hit me with a giant hammer. So it's a very dangerous game to play. Not one I think is unwinnable, but one I think that takes just too many risks for a situation like that. And if I had gone to something like Hollow Bastion, Smashville, let's say DDD gets one back air at like 60%, then forward airs me, I have one less stock to deal with Greninja or Anathema. So I felt like this was a very unique, I want to say first for our series moment of how do we want to approach this? Under the impression that I'm able to win, how do we make this as hard as possible for him to make the next match unwinnable, in a sense? And I'm very impressed with how Avery, how Kyle, how all of us, when we were talking about it, were able to navigate through that, and it paid off beautifully.
Sure did.
Yeah, I mean, team communication at an all-time high here, able to kind of critique and look at what has been going on in this matchup and come out with a big win. I have one last question for you about Saturday's matchup. UNCG, a rematch of the NECC Grand Finals from last semester. What's going through your mind being able to go up against this phenomenal team again?
Well, I'll get it out of the way, obviously. It's kind of crazy we're playing them for 9th when we were playing them for 1st last season. True. Especially when I believe the team is received an incredibly strong new piece, that being Indothia, the Game & Watch. He is, I believe, the best one in America on the North American top 100, but also more importantly, he was a player that was in like the high school like age when he was like, getting better and like powerful. So it's not an instance, I think, where it's like, unlike some schools, you might have a player where it's like sort of a shocker to see them there. Going into them last semester, we were sort of talking about it like this might be our like one shot to have like a somewhat like easy winnable path into UNCG. Obviously, it didn't work because their players are very strong, they're homegrown, and they work together extremely well to create this core that's almost impossible to beat. But now that they have an extra piece in that, I'm going into it less so on the assumption that we're going to make NACE like playoffs, and more so, or top 8 playoffs, I should say, but more under the impression that it'll be an opportunity to play against some really good players and have a lot of fun in one of our last matches of the season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anything else that either of you would like to add here tonight?
I'd like to say, even though sometimes it feels like I might get the kills that might show up on like highlight reels more often, I feel like the blunt of the work that goes into this team is either outside of game or in the parts of the game that don't look like they are as like flashy or as critical. Because like we were talking about, even though I took those 2 stocks off the DDD, the decision making on how we ended up to that point, I'd say was more important than the actual like win itself. So for you guys at home, thank you for enjoying watching us as much. I'd like to bring attention to everything else my team does, because they really do carry me up to lengths and like heights that I never would achieve before. So I'd like to say thank you to all of them, and thank you all for being able to bear witness to it as we have.
I love it. Well, congratulations here on the win. Good luck here on Saturday at 4 o'clock up against UNCG. Thank you so much to you guys at home for sticking with us through the entire season thus far. It just keeps getting better. Drop a like, drop a follow wherever you guys are watching, and we will hopefully see you guys on Saturday at 4 for our next matchup.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.